Hello, ladies. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. I hope all is well on your end. I am super excited on my side. I am kicking off one of my biggest events of the year. It is starting in a matter of hours. Hello, Kimberly. How are you doing? So great to have you here. So I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm a certified health coach and I am the founder of the Body and Lifestyle Academy. So I help women to lean into midlife and just live the most fabulous life possible. I find that some of the women that I have coached during this time run into situations where they don't know what has happened in their life. One day they wake up, they look on a scale, and they see weight from like out of the ethers. Or they put on these cute little pants that they've been wearing forever, and all of a sudden they can't put the pants up. What's up with that? Well, it's a hormonal shift that's taking place. So I am doing a Slimmer Sexy You 5-day intensive training to help you kickstart your year if you just happen to stumble along the way and find that you have ended up in the kitchen eating some things that were really laden with a lot of sugar. Well, I got you. So as we kick off this program on Monday, we're going to be talking about a variety of topics that can help you lean into the best version of your life. One of the things that I have found that is paramount is to figure out where you are and then set a plan of action to get to where you want to be. So I have something before me that I'm going to share. Sometimes it just puts terror in the mindset of a lot of the women that I've worked with, but it is a scale. So are you trembling as you look at the scale? Well, I want you to know that the scale can be your friend. I understand that it can set in some anxiety, but it helps you understand what you have to do to get to the goal that you're searching for down the road. And if you're not tracking where you are, then you're going to be floundering. You're going to be up and down and trying to figure out what happened, and you just are lost. So the scale is really important for you to stay on track. I personally have always tried to keep a really good relationship with the scale. I have to admit, once I did hit midlife, I noticed that there were things that were happening to the scale, like, okay, what's happening here? I don't understand. Like, I'm consistently around the same weight. I kind of eat the same way. I've been pretty active, but something happened during midlife that caused this to be off, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I did a lot of research and come to find out it was a hormonal shift that was happening. And I had to change some things up in order to stay into this size 4-ish body of mine. And I figured out what it was I needed to do to keep myself healthy and not go into these 3 or 4 different sizes that we tend to have in our closet. And the scale really was an indicator for me, because if it wasn't for my scale, I would have woke up one day and probably seen 15 pounds and wouldn't have had any idea, like, oh my God, where did that drop off from? Because it's so subtle. It's just like a couple of pounds here and a couple of pounds there, and all of a sudden you're 15 pounds. 15 pounds can make a big difference if you're going through some health situation. So your scale is your friend. And in the training that I'm holding next week, we're going to talk about things that you need to know as you're going through this midlife journey to help you be healthy, to get that slimmer, sexy body, and also to understand what I need to do to sustain it, because it's something that is going to be a journey that goes throughout your life. There's these phases, pre-menopause, like the perimenopause phase. This is in your 30-ish, and this is where the hormones start to really show up with okay, what's happened to me? My body's changing. I don't know exactly what it is, but something is happening. And maybe you end up in the doctor's office and the doctor's like, oh, you're fine, there's nothing going on with you. And you're like, no, there's something happening, I don't know what it is. The problem is the doctors are not really knowledgeable enough to help you understand the nuances that are happening in midlife. I know there's this period where you get to menopause and it's like, oh, you're in your 50s or 60s, and then it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, it's menopause. But in your 30s, you have to be aware subtle things are happening. And the big eye opener, like I said, for myself, was the weight. But some women, they maybe find out, you know, all of a sudden, I'm just so tired, I can't keep going, my energy level is waning, I need to have all of these naps to keep myself going. Well, that's another indicator, like your hormones has changed. Like, what is it you need to do to switch things up so you can get that energy level back? So in the class, we're going to talk about so many different things. So I have a couple of notes here that I want to talk about. Weight changes is a key indicator that you're going through a midlife change. So if you find that you are not feeling that your body is the way it was a few, months ago, maybe, it's an indication you need to come to the class and find out what is happening hormonally and what you need to do to get your body into this slimmer, sexy phase as you move throughout the trajectory of your life. The next thing is understanding as your body change, where is this change coming from? The body composition, is it fat or is it muscle? If it's fat, this is something that we definitely need to work on, because fat can turn into major health problems. If you're a person that is fit and maybe you're working out some and you're like, oh, my body's changing, it can be muscle. I know that was something that happened to me at one point. I had noticed, like, okay, my clothes feel a little tighter through the shoulders, but I had been doing some weight training and the scale was showing me the extra weight, but the muscle weighs more than fat. So you have to understand where this extra weight is coming from. And that's where these scales can help you. This particular one, I bought this probably about 6 months at least ago, and it's Fit Track. I've had so many versions of scales. I don't remember the one that I had before this, but they're always coming out with new technology, and this has an app that goes along with it. And once you step on it, it sends information to your app and lets you know what the composition of your body is, like how much is fat, how much is muscle mass. These are good indicators to let you know where you are and what you need to pivot or change on to be that slimmer, sexy you. And the last thing I want to share is, like, the scale can be a motivation for you. Once you understand what these factors are you're dealing with, you understand, like, okay, so I'm in this different phase. I need to find out what nutrition I need to bring into my diet. Then it's like, okay, let's track how my success is. So your scale can actually be a motivation to you. It's like when you get on that scale and you see the numbers starting to come down and you see the body mass changing and you're getting more muscle, that's a really good thing. And you may not be able to know specifically where those changes are coming from without having some type of scale. So I encourage you, take some time, look online and find out, like, what are the new technologies that are available in some of these scales. And it can give you feedback to help you stay on track as you move in through midlife, because you want the best body possible and you want to be healthy. You want to go out and travel and be able to keep up with all of the activities. You want to be able to be with your young nieces and nephews or grandchildren and be active. You don't want to let life pass you by when you get to this stage. You can be active and you can be sexy. So I hope that's helpful for you. Again, I encourage you to join me tomorrow, hours away. It's the Slimmer Sexy You 5-day intensive training. Every day we're going to cover something different to help you lean into the best body possible in midlife. So there will be a link in the bio if you're on Instagram that you can register for, or even in the comments. But please, I encourage you to put yourself first. Do this for yourself. It meets 2 p.m. for about an hour and a half every day. And you're just going to get nuggets as we go along. So if you have any questions in the interim, put them in the comments. Reach out to me. Again, I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. And I look forward to seeing you in the Slimmer Sexy You 5-day intensive training kicking off on tomorrow, January the 22nd. Thank you so much for being here, Kim. barely, looks like. I hope that's right. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Take care and hope to see you on tomorrow. Bye-bye.